Now this film here is going to be short, and I'm pointing at something specific. So about when the bank closed up here in Yucca, and I had to jump down in Desert Hot Springs. This should be about September, mid-September or early October of 2019. Now, that could be verified by when the bank's closed. All this documentation for police and for FBI in case they get killed off. So, the exact dates can be found. But here's the key thing. I walked down from Yucca and I got all the way to Indian Trail. It's right there halfway down or 1/3 of the way down from the hill to get to Desert Hot Springs. Now, when I was walking down that hill, I was stalked down that hill. A truck pulled in behind me. The Jeep came in when I was at the top of the hill. A guy took off on foot. I could tell there was footprints in front of me. Never seen the guy. Jeep disappeared. Green truck disappeared. I walked down that road. Took me a little while, hour, 2 hours, whatever it was, carrying my junk, seen a couple prints. Okay, when I jumped in, when I landed on Indian Truck Trail, there's a little Circle K there, one of those types of little mini mart stores. Okay, so I land in there and I go in there. Now here's where it gets interesting. I land into a field next door. I'm really tired, trying to rest. Get me something to drink. I'm going to sit there and try to take a nap. The white car is there. The white car pulls in the field behind me. I could see it fly by real quick. That's what he kind of does. He flies by real quick, locate me where I'm at, then he sends his henchmen in. Same old common practice. He's the shot caller, the handler. But anyway, so I noticed the white car. I didn't know it was stalking me, but I could tell people were following me. You could just get the sense when people were hitting you like flies. But I didn't know what it was all about back then. And then I go over there to the liquor store, or to the Circle K, and I'm gonna, after I rested for about an hour or whatever, now I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna go ahead and start walking the rest of the way to Desert Hot Springs. I need to get to the bank because the bank closed. All right, so now an Uber driver. Now here's where you could find people. FBI, you want to find somebody? This Uber driver tells me he's an old guy. Not real tall, bald-headish, retired. Says he hauls people in Uber from the military up there at the military base up here in Joshua Tree. 29 Palms, wherever it's at, up here. He hauls military people. Now, he happens to know these people. And how I know how is he picks me up there and he gives me a ride down. Okay, he's an Uber driver, A. Okay, A, and I don't know if he's allowed to even do that. Okay, B, when he's driving me down, he's asking me questions, what my name is, who I am, where I come from. I tell him the truth. I tell him my full name. I tell him where I come from. I tell him everything that goes on. You could just see him really analyzing, looking as he's driving, like he's thinking and he's trying to consider. By the time it was all done, he says kind of real creepy, he goes, "You be good. You be good." Like, I didn't really pick it up, and it didn't mean anything to me. I'm tired. I'm happy for the ride. I'm going to Pilot there. I'm going to get me a shower, and then I could walk into town and give me some money when the next month when the money comes in. Because I'm a few days early from, right at the end of September. I'm leaving, early October, okay? He knows these people. Now, he's a good Samaritan, and he's hooked up with a couple other old Marine people. I've seen these people stalking me around. Now, they're more like crime watch or community help. They don't know that they're helping this black guy in the white limo kill me. They don't know that, but they are part of it because of that. So that Uber driver can be tracked. He went in that Circle K more than likely. When I went in there, he picked me up. Okay, so I'm at Pilot. Okay, we continue on. Okay, I eventually end up over there in Cathedral City. Now, this is the one I want to focus on. These people are on film inside of a bank. So I'm in Cathedral City and I'm trying to get my money or whatever I'm dealing. Probably trying to get a credit card, whatever I'm trying to do. Dealing with the bank. I got to deal with it on foot. I'm going to buy me a bike at this veterans. He's a war veteran. He sells used bikes, nice bikes. I was going to buy a bike there. So I go into the bank and I'm trying to get a credit card or something, whatever it was. Now I'm on film. This is about October or November of 2019. Now I talked to this lady. She's a supervisor or a lead woman or the vice president, whatever she is, dark-haired lady. This is all on film. If I'm dead, there's film of the people who stalked me. Okay, now after I talk to her, this is just my opinion, but after I talk to her and I read her numbers and I give her my atomic god scenario, eschatology, doomsday, we're going to nuclear war, mumbo jumbo, okay, because I like the topic. I then leave the bank, and then when I come back again about, I don't know, a week later or something, and I get back in the line because then my money's up and I need to get some money, I say hi to her or something, and I go, oh yeah, I read you. And then she goes, no, you didn't. Now that's a common theme. We're going to go ahead and switch back. When I was in Hemet, there's a fish store that sells, cooks fish. A black lady, she's a minister, works there. It's right there within a half mile of my apartment on the 74. Don't know what the fish place is, but there's only one of them out there. Good fish. Okay, now same thing with that lady. I did her numbers. I did my eschatology. The black guy showed up there when I was still in Hemet. This was about a year before, 6 months before, a year before, 2 years before, 3 years before, 5 years before. It was way before. She gave me that same type of thing. No, you didn't. I never talked to you. Okay, but that's kind of the thing. Is like somehow whoever's talking to these people are saying, well, Tony's so bad, I'm so bad. They got to be afraid of me. Just say you've never talked to me. You can see the scare look in their eyes. I read people. Okay, anyway, so it shut her down, so she stopped talking to me. But these are the indicators I look for when my brother's behind me slandering me and trying to mess up my life, because he's been doing it for so long. I'm used to it. You know what I mean? It's like a barracuda chasing a minnow. The minnow gets used to the barracuda's moves. You know what I'm saying? When the water stirs, he knows, oh, the barracuda's near. You know, it doesn't fret me at all. But anyway, so now back to the bank. So when I'm inside the bank, and this is for the FBI, because these are the only ones that could look at these files. So when I go back a week later and I talk to her later, she gets all like that weird look. I never read you. Now it's interesting. While I'm in the bank there, and she says that, whoever is following me, talk to her. So between the first time I was in the bank and the second time I was in the bank, which is only like a week apart, whoever is stalking me, more than likely the tall white-haired guy or the tall white guy or the other blonde-haired girl with them, those two are on film talking to that lady. Those are the people stalking me, trying to kill me. And they're hooked up with the black guy. And this is a long-term team. So they are on film. It can be found. I don't expect they're going to kill me. The reason is they've been trying for like 15, 20 years at least. Yeah, I've had 5 or 6 hit attempts. Yeah, I live like an animal in the bush. I know how to move around and survive. I'm like, one guy said I make the perfect German, because I know how to live in gutters and down in little rifts with minimal gear on ground in incredibly hard conditions. I learned this from my brother abusing me. I learned to live outside. I'm tough and I'm a survivor. I kind of like the skill. So with this, and it's pretty hard to kill me, but I've had a lot of attempts, okay, and I will cover them. But whoever it is, they talk to those people at the bank, and they talk to that lady at that fish shop. Now, these things, or incidences, are so old, you can't go get evidence. And what evidences are you getting? But if I get killed and it seems like a homicide, then you, at least FBI, have that place to go to and check out that lady, question her, get the films, and see who they talk to. This is the way it goes. These people are sneaky, follow me around. Also, like I say, these people have talked to the Yucca people a lot, that whole group. Everybody here knows them. You've got heroin addicts after me, a handful of them, 10, 15 of them follow me around at different times. You could tell by looking at them, drug addicts. There's a contract on me. You've got Citizen Patrol following me around, cops poking in and out of me, this team following me around like they're the cops, but they're the hit team. It's pretty much covered up. The reason I'm putting this on film because, well, nobody will believe it. It's too intriguing. It's too sinister. But my brother's a sociopath, and he's good, and he made a lot of money off me, and he destroyed me. And he wants all this put up and put away and covered up. So, and like I said, I believe he's got a life insurance policy on me. And someone has to be paying the bills. People chasing me around like this, gasoline, time, energy, food. These people don't have any, I don't know them personally, so it can't be a personal vendetta against me. Okay, well, they got to be motivated somewhere. Well, they popped into my life right after my brother got that money and I got my SSI. These people, the car, definitely. Now, the key thing about the car, the car may very well belong to my brother Bill. He may own that car. He might have been driving it 20 years ago, following me around. And as time went by, he then got this black man involved. The reason is because when I seen this black man in Riverside, and he was in front of my apartment complex, and he was talking to the speed addict neighbor, and he was looking at me and dancing like he's tough and he'll mess me up, and I don't even know this guy. Okay, now he was pretty young then. He only looked like he was 25 years old. So when you go back, let's say 10 years, he was only 25 or 20 or 28. I mean, so the guy can't be about 40 years old. So you track him back. I don't know how long he can go back. But so the car is the funny thing. The car is the key element. I wish I would have got the plate. Didn't get it. I got the plate of the one white guy in a white truck. 23411. Last 5 digits on that little Ranger truck. He's definitely involved. He followed me around a lot. So, these are the best pieces of information I give, but the white car, it is unknown who owns it. I kind of have a feeling my brother Bill owns it, and he's letting the black guy drive it around. Okay, so that's what I really believe. And I've seen the white guy with that truck that I gave you, the 23411. I've seen him as far as 25 years ago in Ocatella Wells, and he was driving a quad around, and he tried to run me over when me and my old lady were out there picking up rocks. And then when we were out there right before we went to Ocatella Wells, about a day before, we were over there off of pretty far away, way over there, you know, I don't know exactly where, off the 10 somewhere, up in some dirt, and someone came up in a car in the middle of the night, three of them, they tried to close in on the truck. I woke up in the middle of the night, threw the fire open, they hopped in their car, they peeled away. I went up into the hills to follow the footprints and check the tracks, and there was a green little Jolly Rogers freshly laden on the ground there that the guy spit out that night, because it was now morning time when I checked it out. I told my girlfriend she wanted to see it. I showed her the Jolly Rogers. Her name is Teresa K. Warren. She is involved with my brother Bill. She brought my brother Bill to my hiding spot when I was in Riverside once. She would come to the park with the baby when the baby was there, and when she and the baby would leave, sure enough, there'd be somebody on me trying to take me out. I used to carry a knife around. I was pretty buffed, pretty dangerous back then. Don't want to mess with me back then. I'm kind of fat, old, and stupid now, but back then I was an outside survivor. So multi-times she's brought people against me. So she was in contact with my brother there, and she would bring me to a spot, and then when she would leave, my brother would have a hit team on me. Now, it's been a variety of people. You know, I think he gets different people. But who's handling this all the time, who the people are, I don't know. But definitely it's the white car, whoever car that is. It's the black guy in the sheriff outfit. And he showed up so many times, even on film. When I went to Riverside after the Karen, I came down to Riverside. This was a year ago. I got off of the bus, and I went to use the bathrooms at the train station, and there was that black guy standing there in a security guard outfit, and I go, "Is there any bathrooms?" And he goes, "No." There he was. He's got to be on security film, but he's impersonating a security guard at a train depot. And then also he was in Flying J with me when I was sitting there charging my phone. He came in there and he sat down. I go reading people. It's kind of the way I filter people. I'm sociopathic in my own way. What I'll do is I'll walk up just to check if my brother knows or anybody. I do it to everybody. I walk up and ask if I could read their personality. I do numerology. I've read like 28,000 personalities. I'm really good at it. People really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But I could sit there and read the person, analyze them, read their eyes, see what's going on with them, know a heck of a lot about them, and walk away. Now, next time I see this person, if they ain't the same person I was talking to and their personality varies, well, then he starts leaving indications that I'm being slandered. It's an easy thing to do. I just put a lot of effort into it. But he was in there, and he wouldn't let me read him. So he was on film there once, too. So this guy has popped up on film, but he hangs in the back. Tried to run me over once in Hemet in the parking lot, and another time in Hemet, when I was living there in Hemet, and you can check the records, he was standing in front of a bank. The bank was right on the corner of Oakland and the 74 highway. It was one of those weird little banks only 1,000 feet away, and he was standing at the front of that bank. I seen the white car parked there, and he was acting like a security guard in front of the bank as I came by walking. See, that's the way he kind of does it. It's kind of like, you know, I'm after you, I'm intimidated, there's nothing you can do, I'm going to get you, I'm in a security guard, we're going to get you. It's kind of like a really stupid, childlike bump against you, trying to scare me and intimidate me. Now, at the time, I didn't know who he was, and he was trying to kill me off. I didn't know these things. I would just see him pop up, and to me, was it the same guy? Could be, could not be. I didn't really care. You see, that's the way it is. Unless someone's persistently there, I just kind of look and move on, like anybody else. But, you know, when I look back, I can see, well, there he was again. So this is kind of his strategy. He's an authority of some type. Security guard, if not. Private investigator, if not. definitely drug involved, because he was over there at Pet Cemetery Chuck's before Chuck came after me to kill me. He was standing there in Chuck's yard, and I was reading The Red-Haired Girl at his car when Chuck stole my vodka. It's in one of the films or on the writing, and he was in the yard, and then Chuck started trying to kill me. And he's that military heroin addict guy that I told you about. Okay, so you see, the guy's stealthy, but you see, if you were a private investigator, would you be dealing with a heroin addict? And how are you going to motivate this heroin addict? With money? Now, the people coming after me are all heroin addicts. When I was in a motel, they were heroin addicts. 3 or 4 or 5 of them following me around. Heroin addicts, really nasty looking, ugly. You know how they get. Just horrible looking people. And so somewhere in there, I assume the black guy is a heroin dealer, and he was also in Ripley, and he had his car there, and he knew the black girls down there that I had trouble with, and he was staying with one of those, a girl named Queen, something like that, and she thought she was something, but she was a drug addict, wanted to become manager, but he was hanging there, and his car was parked right there by her apartment. Now, I think he's got a camera loaded in this thing, because he'll park the car near my place, and that car will sit there for months. That's kind of the way he does it, and he's sitting there watching me when I come out of my apartment, I go somewhere, hop on the bus, there he is. So you see, you can't be watching me all the time. It takes a lot of effort. So I think he's just sitting there with his phone and whatever he's doing. What I'm saying is, someone putting this much effort over this much time, a group of people, and when they get me out there alone, I've had bunches of attempts, and I'm going to cover them. Then they try to kill me. So I'm telling you, this guy's got to be crooked. Same thing with the white guy, and the people in Yucca, the people in here know him, and this is all for the FBI in case I get clocked off and killed, which is unlikely because they ain't killed me yet. And I am moving out of here, which worries me, so I'm going to have to be ready to tactically move if they are on me. But like I said, about 1 week after I started writing this information down on WriteCo, a publishing app, these people disappeared. They just faded off. And before that, they were on to me for years. And even when I lived here, every time I left property, 4 or 5 cars, just intimidating, coming after me, drug addicts. They would, even when I'd walk down the street, they'd say, "You better not come out of your car." And when I'd go to Dollar General, they'd be sitting there staring at me, and I started filming them on my phone, but I don't get very good film. So they've backed off. So whatever it is, whether the life insurance policy ran out, whether they know I'm writing about them, or whether they're just backed off enough that when I leave, they can start tracking me again. And if they do, I'll bring in the cops, hopefully. It's hard to prove anything, but at least I have this documentation. And if they kill me or I die some strange way, well, this is information for the FBI to nail my brother, because he is responsible. And I'll throw as much information as I can up. Thank you very much.